Tony clutched the weapon tightly between his legs, waiting for the right moment to assassinate the President of the United States. He had already prepared a plastic handgun in advance. Though its design was simple, its power was more than enough. The sound of gunfire, however, attracted two hunters. Curious, they asked him what the gun was for.
To assassinate the president.
When they mocked him, Tony ignored them and went on planning his perfect assassination. To get past security, he hid the bullets inside a furry keychain. Once everything was ready, Tony dialed the number of Federal Agent Ryan and revealed his plan to assassinate the president. Meanwhile, the president, busy campaigning, was completely unaware. He was preparing to visit 3 different places to win votes. Ryan, after hanging up the phone, immediately reported the entire conversation to his superior word for word, but the superior brushed it off. During an election season, they received plenty of threats like this. Most turned out to be hoaxes. There was no need to waste manpower. Hearing this, Ryan said nothing more, though unease gnawed at him. The next day, Tony went a step further. This time, he called the police department directly, again stressing his plan to assassinate the president. Everyone heard it loud and clear. Ryan stalled for time while signaling his colleagues to trace the call. They quickly pinpointed the location, but by the time they arrived, Tony was gone, leaving behind only a fingerprint on the phone. When Ryan tried to match the print, he discovered the identity was locked under military secrecy. They had no clearance to view it. The election campaign carried on as scheduled, while Ryan silently watched over the president from the shadows. 2 days passed. Still, Tony hadn't made a move. The delay lulled him into a false sense of security. What he didn't realize was that his meticulously planned assassination was about to begin. The final campaign stop took place indoors. By then, Tony had already disguised himself and slipped into the venue. He disassembled the plastic handgun, hiding the parts in his pants, while the other metal pieces were disguised as everyday items. This way, he passed security without a hitch and sat confidently in his reserved seat. As the president gave his speech, Tony popped a balloon with a steel needle, plunging the hall into chaos. Hearing the noise, Ryan rushed forward to shield the president. Dozens of security guards swarmed the stage, pinning the president underneath them. In the confusion, Tony burst a second balloon. That's when Ryan realized he had mistaken balloon pops for gunfire. During the break, Ryan's superior scolded him for dereliction of duty. He insisted it was all just another prank. But Ryan's unease only grew because he had uncovered the truth about the assassin's identity. Tony had once been a Special Forces soldier. After years of unfair treatment, he left the military in anger. He was not only highly skilled, but also adept at altering his appearance. The final rally began right on time. Tony pulled the weapon parts from his pocket and skillfully assembled them. Meanwhile, the president was shaking hands with his supporters. Ryan arrived at the scene with a sketch his colleagues had drawn of the suspect. Scanning the crowd, his eyes finally landed on someone who closely matched the picture. At the same moment, Tony raised his gun to fire. In a split second, Ryan leapt forward, taking the bullet meant for the president. The rally erupted into chaos. The president was swiftly escorted to safety. Tony shot and killed a guard, then seized Ryan's pistol and tied him to an elevator. Snipers took positions above, shattering the glass around the elevator with gunfire. Seizing the moment, Ryan grappled with Tony in a desperate struggle and at last defeated him.